Hey guys, hope everything's going well. You guys know the drill. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH_sports. Alrighty, it's been what, 4 or 5 days since I've done a video. I've just been really busy this week. Any free time I have, I just either work out or, just do housework. It's just been crazy. It's gonna be like that for the next few months. But anyways, I wanted to do this one video regarding money laundering and sports cards. But before I do, I wanted to show you one card that I got in the mail. It's this 1995 Upper Deck Michael Jordan number 200 PSA 8. And this has Mr. Harry Carey. That's right. Harry Carey was a popular announcer for the Chicago Cubs, and he also used to broadcast games for the St. Louis Cardinals. Rumor was he was having an affair with this one person, I think, in St. Louis, maybe the owner, wife. And then he left to Chicago, and he became the face of the Cubs in the 90s, 80s, and 90s. Harry Carey was fun to watch when I was a little kid. And he was on WGN. If you could see the WGN microphone, and this was Michael Jordan with the White Sox, and this was what, 95. So what the Cubs and White Sox used to do before interleague play, they used to just have basically, you could call it a scrimmage. Maybe that's not the correct term, but they used to just play each other. And Michael Jordan, as you know, was on the White Sox. So this is more of me collecting. This is more nostalgia based, and that's why I buy these things. I want to talk to you about what I'm collecting, and this is, I think, one of the few cards with Harry Carey, and it reminds me of my childhood, and that's why I'm buying. This is not an investment. This is just me just having fun and showing you my card. Now the topic of money laundering, and I think I may title this "When the Money Laundering Stops," or "When the Music Stops," or something like that. So a few things about sports card market. I was talking to this one individual at a friend's house, and this guy was telling me that, hey, he has a Michael Jordan ball and all this stuff. And then we got into the topic of sports cards and why they're going up. And one of the first few things he said is, he said he talked to a buddy, and he said that one of the reasons why it's going up is money laundering. And I was trying to do some research on money laundering and sports cards. I could probably dig into some information, but just here's some of the information that I got. So a few years ago in 2018, a Juan Uribe card, no joke, in 2018, it sold for, get this, if you don't know, $758,000. That's insane. $758,000 for a Juan Uribe card. And I think Ken Golden was making some sort of joke on Golden Auctions, his Instagram, maybe in April. Yeah, this was in April. And I didn't know the reference, but now I got the reference. But yeah, it sold at $758,000, and there were a lot of rumblings going on that, okay, this seems really, really, really suspicious, and it's most likely money laundering, and hanky panky is going on. And that was 2018, before the pandemic. And now we have the pandemic, or I mean, we're slowly getting out of it. Not really, because the cases are going back up places all around the world. Regardless, we have the sports card market blow up during the pandemic. Obviously, one reason why it went up, we're at home, no games on, they give us funny money, the Fed's printing funny money. Okay, that makes sense. But the other aspect of this is most likely money laundering. And it's really hard to track money laundering because we don't work for the FBI. We don't have the tools to do this forensic accounting and all of this stuff. But what can I look at to try to figure out, okay, what's going on here? I'm looking at the art market now. In 2014, I don't want to make this video political. And because whenever you talk about Russia, people just get up in arms sometimes. So I want to make this as non-political as possible. There was the whole situation in 2014 with Russia and Crimea, and the U.S. Levied sanctions on Russia and certain individuals as well. And it once you levy sanctions on them, it's hard to be involved in this whole system as it is. And what some rich individuals determined is that, hey, what markets are not regulated with this whole thing with the sanctions? What can they evade? How can they get around these sanctions? Long story short. And the way they could do that is via money laundering, via the art market. And you saw all these art prices, pictures of art, they just went crazy during the last decade. Some people may say that, hey, it's because of quantitative easing, interest rates artificially low, increased money supply, so it makes sense why people are chasing art. Okay, that makes sense. That's the logical reason. But the other thing is how much of the dark money is going into the art market last decade. And there was a Senate report. I'm not going to mention names for liability issues and whatnot, but people can read it. And there were allegedly a few affluent Russians that were apparently evading the sanctions by going through the art market. And from what I read, these auction houses, you don't need to deal with any money laundering issues. You don't need to make any disclosures about that, from my understanding, in this short research that I've done. And now I'm thinking, okay, people were involved in the art market. Now, what if you have individuals abroad, or you could even have in the United States, that are criminals that are exploiting the fact that, okay, card prices are definitely going up. And you see it definitely on the high end. The Brady card, you see it with a few other athletes as well. If you look at some of the vintage stuff with Babe Ruth, I think one just sold for over $2 million. Regardless, how much money are criminals putting into this sports card market? If they did it in art, and the US is levying sanctions on people around the world, what are they going to do next? If the art market is going to be looked at very closely by the authorities, then are the authorities looking at the sports card market it the same way? And I don't think the authorities are looking at the sports card market as much, because they've already found out information about the art market. So it logically makes sense that individuals around the world are engaging in funny business and bidding the price up. And some people may say, hey, this is common sense, duh. But here's the thing, okay? I saw a few crazy things last year. There's this furniture company I'm not going to mention, and some of this furniture was going for crazy amounts of prices. And the first few thoughts that I had is, okay, funny business is going on, money laundering. Okay, during this pandemic, interest rates low, they're throwing all this money in, so people or the authorities may look the other way, maybe, unless if it's art. Now, what happens when the music stops? And I've already talked about my timeline, 2024, when this thing should probably blow up. I mean, people could say that, hey, the market blew up in 2021, February of this year, March of this year. Everything topped out then. And sure, you may have record prices for Tom Brady cards. You may have record prices for some of these basketball cards. You may have record prices for this scarce vintage stuff, like I told you, like Babe Ruth. But a lot of the stuff has been going down. So the high end still is strong. So you could still see some of that dark money come in. And also, athletes are definitely in on it as well that aren't engaged in funny business. Regardless, what happens when the economy starts to deteriorate? People say the economy's bad now, but still, um, Fed's keeping rates low for right now. What happens when the rates go higher, when government spending goes down, because government spending has lifted this whole economy up, at least in the short run, whether you agree with big spending or not. That's just the truth right now. So you decrease the spending, you raise interest rates, economy goes in the tank, supply chain doesn't improve too much because of various reasons, because of executive orders, because of mandates, whatever you want to call it. And then are individuals going to bid up these cards in these auctions and pay that much of a premium for these cards? Okay, I get it. Maybe a Babe Ruth card, a very scarce Babe Ruth card, is going to sell for a lot. A very scarce Joe DiMaggio card is going to sell for a lot of money. But that being said, would it, if you've seen some of these Brady cards, even though I'm a huge fan of Tom Brady, he's going to be retiring probably in the next few years. So his cards are going to obviously go down. But what if you get rid of this money laundering aspect? Because people who are engaged in money laundering probably don't want to be not disclosing. They don't want to be engaged in this activity in a down market and pay a ridiculous sum of money to be as a target. They don't want to be a target. For instance, the market probably figured out when someone paid $768,000 or something close to that for a Juan Uribe card, there was funny business going on. So next few years should be quite interesting. I like to see price action in regards to the high-end card market in the next few years, because my thesis is, like I've told you before, the market has gone up because of low interest rates, the pandemic, funny money, and also money laundering. Now, you start to reverse these trends, and then on top of it, you have an increase of supply coming back from PSA. Now, this could be a huge bloodbath. Now, bloodbath would bring so many opportunities, and that's what I'm waiting for. And I'll be doing a video for this or regarding this in the, I don't know, coming weeks or so. And I'm going to discuss all of this. But yeah, I'm just thinking, okay, do these guys that are engaged in money laundering, are they going to do that type of stuff in a down market? And my thought process is they may, but they're not going to bid excessively high on these cards like they were last year and parts of this year. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think. Smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, and I'll definitely be doing videos later this week. Thanks. Bye.